Oh, you got an air handler. This one is a new air handler?
Oh, are you going off my graphics?
Unless he doesn't want to walk up to a unit right now, so we're gonna just.
Snows up there. Yeah, this is one of the air handlers. I don't know, what do you want to start with? Rooftop?
Doesn't matter.
Here's like one of the 5 energy recovery rooftops.
They're all energy recovery, right?
6 of them.
Yeah, there's 6 total. 6 of these kind, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is the graphic of one of your AHU rooftops. So they're your energy recovery makeup air units. Basic maintenance on them is there's belt-driven exhaust fans. So your return fan will have a belt. We recommend a 1 time a year change of your belt. It's a simple, basically cheap preventative maintenance you can do. There's also, there'll be 2 sets of filters. There'll be a set of filters before the heat wheel. Ooh, that's touchscreen, can't touch it. So there'll be a set of filters on your return air for your heat wheel, and there's also a set of filters on your outside air. Obviously your outside air filters will be changed more often most likely than your return, but what we tell everyone is make it a monthly to every other month check of your unit. Just walk up there, open the doors, check your filters, see how your filters are doing, check the face, both faces of the heat wheel. The heat wheel is considered self-cleaning, but that's to a point. If you let your filters go completely to crap, your heat wheel is not going to be able to clean itself. If the heat wheel does get to the point of needing cleaning, it can be pulled completely out of the air handler. There's 2 electrical connections that just snap apart, and then 6 screws, and the whole assembly will slide out as one piece. There's a belt on the heat wheel that should also be checked on a yearly, monthly basis. Replace as necessary. It'll crack. Once it cracks, it'll start to slip and most likely break on you. Also, when you have the unit shut down to check your filters and belts, spin the heat wheel by hand. You should be able to, with just light pressure, you should be able to pull your hand or push your hand and that wheel should spin. If it's tight, it needs to be adjusted. Either the seals are too tight or a bearing is starting to go out. It's got just a really small horsepower motor to spin it, so it doesn't take a lot to lock that heat wheel up. Heating and cooling, you've got just chilled water coils and hot water coils that NAC have control of the valves on, so they're doing your logic. Fan control is also being done by NAC, so they're maintaining duct static on the supply fan.
Yep, duct static and building static with the exhaust.
They've got damper control. They've got heat wheel control. The heat wheel is a modulating heat wheel control. Defrost control on it, or just
When
temperature?
when that energy wheel turns on, it'll run at 100% until the leaving air temperature drops below set point. Then it'll start slowing down to gain more of that return air
To defrost.
to defrost.
So maintenance-wise, belts on the return fans, supply fans, direct drive. Again, check it regularly. Build up a dust wheel, stuff like that. They've got Yaskawa VFDs in there. They've all been programmed and tested. There's really no reason you should ever have to get in the VFD. If there's any alarms on the VFD, the front display will show you what the alarm is. It'll tell you what alarm code it is. There's a book in every unit that will detail what the alarm is.
And if not Yoskawa, I'm sure there's a number in the book.
There's a sticker on the door, on one of the doors with their tech support number, and all the model and serial numbers already written out, so you don't have to try to find it. their tech support is very helpful with walking through any issues you have.
Top notch.
That's pretty much the rooftops. They're pretty much a shell with 2 motors and a heat wheel. All controlled by NAC, so when it doesn't work, you call them.
I'm used to that, call me. That's rooftops 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. Yep.
There's 6 of them, I know that much.
And then the other ones are 6, 7, and 9, which are, these are AMs too.
These are just straight, no
wheel.
No wheel in
or
them.
nothing, yeah.
Let's go like this.
no heat. So your standard AHU units are literally just a supply fan, direct drive fan, and then you would have a single bank of filters on your inlet to your hot water, chilled water coils. Again, NAC has fan control, damper control, valve control, so they pretty much control, they tell the unit what to do. We've been through every unit and bumped them, tested them, so their signals work to everything.
And these units are pretty, just like your home furnace. You got heating, cooling. We have speed on the fans, but we're just giving it 1 set point.
Yeah.
Which would have been set by the balancer.
Balance pointed basically.
They look for X amount of CFM provided at the space and set the speed of the fan.
Same with the economizer, you're just minimum outside air or
Minimum outside air,
fresh air required by the balancer.
yes, but I think we're still waiting on outside airflow stations.
We'll pull up an air handler now. Or go to the locker room, we'll do that one.
What's the rooftop?
So this is the Valent rooftop unit that serves the locker room. It sits kind of up in the corner up there. Again, this is an energy recovery system for the locker rooms, for the fresh air, exhaust air of the locker room. But instead of a heat wheel, it's just got a plate-to-plate heat exchanger on it. So when you open the door, they're square. It's basically an air passage going one way, a separate air passage going the other way. So instead of a wheel that turns to transfer the heat, just the air going one way, internally all the chambers touching with the air going the other way transfers the heat that way. It works the exact same principle as a heat wheel, it's just a little bit different design. Again, fan control is done by NAC, damper control is done by NAC. Again, this one will have 2 banks of filters, one before on the return side of the heat exchanger and one on the outside air of the heat exchanger. Again, make it a monthly to every other month check. It doesn't take a lot. Walk up, open the doors, just look at the filters, change as needed. You might find you might go all winter without changing them just because you're clean environment. You might find you change them every March, April, May, June just because of dust and dirt and I mean, I'm sure if there's a cotton tree in town, the rooftops are going to find it. You know, and then you might find July, August, September, you don't have to change your filters. But we just like to recommend making it a monthly to every other month check. Besides getting a change of filter schedule, it's going to keep you familiar with your rooftops. Just even opening the doors, you're going to get used to the sights and sounds and how the unit's operating and looking like. So when we do have a problem, one, you'll hear it when you're walking up, or two, you can compare it to what you've been seeing in the past to know, okay, this isn't working, that's not working, whether it's on the control side or mechanical internal components starting to fail. You just kind of have a remembrance of, okay, this is how it's been, well now all of a sudden it's squealing, okay, well, the outside air got overridden to 0% and it's squealing through the outside air damper, or it's squealing and oh crap, we got a supply fan motor bearing going out. You know, you kind of get before you can kind of catch some of the problems before they turn into catastrophes. Special control wise, I don't know if there's really anything special. Control building pressure and just constant supply.
Mm-hmm.
So just maintaining a constant CFM and then using return exhaust fan to maintain building pressure for the locker rooms.
Yep.
Do you have defrost control on the?
It's with that bypass damper
Yeah.
located above. It'll just open up that bypass will open if the outdoor air temps permit to, if the discharge air temp is over set point, it'll use free cooling and bypass the heat exchanger, or if the leaving air temp drops below a certain set point, it will open up and bypass the outside air around the heat exchanger.
Basically defrost the heat exchanger.
Yep.
Do we have anything on paper showing the different sizes of filters for all these so we can get them ordered?
I don't, unless Peterson went through it.
They haven't supplied anything for their O&Ms yet, they're still putting them together, so we'll have to check and make sure that's a part of it. I anticipate they'll have schedules of everything needed, and I mean parts required for all their machines, but still just waiting to see that and review it, so.
I'll pull an air handler up. Such a helpful secretary.
I'm gonna need you to run to the store, give me a chocolate latte, please.
Would you pull one out that's not in order?
Just timer set points.
Oh.
They're not enough. There's that VFDs in the hand right now.
Okay, so this is air handler one. This is a Daikin air handler. This has an energy recovery wheel in it. So like your energy recovery rooftop units, it's got a set of filters before on the return air side. And it's also got a set of filters on your fresh air side coming into the air handler. Again, the heat wheel is on a VFD that NAC controls the starting and stopping of. Supply fan, exhaust fan, NAC will have control of them. These are going to be ABB VFDs. Again, the books, last I saw them, were on top of all the air handlers for the ABB, giving you the alarm code, the programming code, and basically your basic configuration of them. Again, maintenance-wise, I know on these, everything is a direct drive fan, so there are no belts to change. They're all sealed bearing motors, so there's no bearings to grease on the motors. Filters are your biggest maintenance item on the air handlers. Again, we like to recommend checking them every month to every other month to get a baseline of when you need to change your filters. I'm not going to say you can't rely on your differential, but you should compare your differential to an actual physical check to make sure, because every filter is going to be a little bit different. Hot water, chilled water coil are NAC, they control the water valves on them. So there's really, does this one have a preheat coil on it?
Mm-hmm.
So this one has a preheat coil to help keep the incoming air warm enough to defrost the wheel. Again, that's controlled by NAC.
Kind of. I'm just joking.
In other words, it's overridden to a certain percentage. You want to pull up a regular handle? So what is it? There's four.
Don't turn that one on. Smells.
It smells?
Yeah,
Like what?
I don't know, it's just.
Like a burning new smell.
Yeah, I don't know. It stinks up that whole lobby.
Huh.
Maybe we'll look at that.
Go to that.
So what is there, four standard air handlers here?
Let's see.
I think, 4 and 5 and 3 are,
Yeah, 4
I
and
think
5
they're all
and 3
pretty
are
much the same. 4 and 5
Those are
maybe
the
a
two
little
up in
bigger
the-
though,
Yeah, they're the two up in the same
in the mezzanine up there, yeah.
mezzanine. Then there's one above the stage area.
This one's up by the
This is
auditorium.
at the auditorium.
Yep. And the wrestling room, air handler 2, that's a small one.
Yeah, so there's four.
Yeah. And then, yeah, the one we just looked at, yeah.
As long as you're on that one, the heat valve doesn't shut off on.
It doesn't shut off?
No, you turn it on and it runs.
It's because they put ice bags on the thermostat.
Yeah. They usually want it warm in there.
Okay, I know what to do. I'm gonna just flip the switch on the actuator.
Sounds good.
I'll pull your actual graphic up for a second.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so on your 4 Daikin air handlers, it's a supply fan, direct drive fan. Again, it'll be an ABB VFD controlling it. NAC is obviously starting and stopping and speed signal to the fan. The hot water, chill water coils are being controlled by NAC. They've got the valves on them. The outside air, return air actuator for the damper section is also controlled by NAC, so they're using it to switch between 100% return and outside air economizer control. One single filter rack in there. Again, with the filters, we just recommend a monthly to every other month check of them. You'll get your own pattern and sequence of filter change. Change them as needed, change them as you feel fit. Maintenance-wise on them, your filters are pretty much your only maintenance item. On the damper section for the return air and the outside air, there will be, on the actual blades themselves, there's a gray gasket. So what'll happen is they'll stick once in a while, and when they try to open the other direction, it'll rip the gasket off. You might have to crawl in there and push the gasket back onto the blade. If the gasket does fall completely off, it doesn't hurt the damper assembly in any way. You'll just get a little bit excess leakage through the blades. So if the damper gasket gets too chewed up that it won't stay on, it is possible to buy just the gasket material by itself to put new gasket material on. It comes in like a 10-foot length. You just cut it to fit your damper assembly. That's pretty much what I have on your equipment. So now it's up to you. If you need to walk up to any of them to see it, we can. I'll let you make the call on that.
There's a snow blower we could bring up to the roof. Path cut.
It actually isn't too bad up there.
It all blew away.
It's a nice thing of living out in prairie land.
It's always the neighbor's problem.
Yeah. So all the Daikin units, they're all direct drive, there's no belts on the Daikin
Correct.
units? Okay.
Yep, all the Daikin air hammers are direct
Just make them
drive.
all that way.
Hey, if I could, I would. If I could, I would. I would. I'd get away from belts in
Yeah.
85% of all situations. Until you get to about a 20 horse motor or bigger, then I'd rather take a belt, just because of the torque. That's about all I have for you. I mean,
Round two.
Yeah, ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, we'll just go down, we'll just go down the list on what we have in the system. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. So, right now, I have it still set up for the 2019 project. Until everything is 100% good, then I will transfer everything, so then you'll just have two drop downs. You'll have the high school and elementary school. I've specifically let this go because our central global controller that's in your room, we have four trunks of comm going out from that, and it's easy to depict what's on what comm. I mean, if you like something like this, I could leave it in the high school, or would you just prefer to have your air handlers, VAVs?
I think I'd prefer just to have that.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Floor plans. Here's just your overview. I'm pretty sure this right here is your office, the front down here. So anything going back, you can click on any section you want. And it'll show you the floor plan. And did we talk about dropping numbers or room numbers like you had in your old floor plans on there?
I wanna go off the new plan for floor, or for room numbers.
Okay. Okay.
And basically, all of them just got a one added to the front of the number.
I'm trying to think if we can put in locations, so you can hover over and see the VAB and the location. I think you can.
Okay.
If that's the case, I might just do that
Yeah, that'd be
within
nice.
these graphics, so then you can just hover over them. It'll show you the VAB with the location,
And that-
the room number. And then your overview sheets obviously will, all those locations will get put in there.
Okay. So like under the floor plan map, will that work just like the elementary does, where you hover over a room and it'll give you the temperature?
Yep,
Okay.
sorry, it's a little slow. You got a notepad, Alex?
Nope. I got a phone. What's up? Write this down?
Yeah. And look into that heating valve.
Yep.
Or is that one of those ones that the
Yeah.
hand valve was shut off?
Oh, I think it was actually. There was 3 of them,
Found
right?
some reheats out in the spaces that the hand valves were shut off.
It was like a whole main line was shut off to them. I told Cody about it.
Where was that at?
It was in the middle rooms, like the science room area.
Because we don't have heating in them locker rooms now for some reason.
Yeah, that's what Mike said. I don't know what's up with that. To check that out. It's been working ever since,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
working
now,
before,
right?
I know.
Yeah, everything was working. Well, we can talk with Cody and maybe he can point us in the direction on where it splits off.
Right. What's that one, R3?
Anyway, Scott, yeah, it'll be, you can just hover over the space, click
Okay.
on it, and it should bring you to your VAB that serves that space. These are the locker rooms. Yeah, heating valves are open. But we have no heat. Have these drives been getting turned off manually at all? Have you done them?
These units are running still 24/7, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any schedules on them.
Yeah, they're just over it. Okay. Any questions with floor plans?
No.
Anything you wanna see different? Pretty sure I can
McKenna,
add,
Aaron Holst, can you please come to the office? McKenna, Aaron Holst, thank you.
I'm pretty sure I can add, I'm pretty sure I can add the locations in, and I'll double check that. If not, I can just drop text if you want that. Guess we can go right down to air handlers. Any questions on these? I know we kind of already reviewed. I mean, sequence of operation, they get scheduled on. It'll maintain a duct static pressure set point.
So are all these units now on the new stuff, are they ready to be a schedule set up for them so I can start shutting them down at night?
Yeah, we can set up schedules.
Okay.
Air handler one for the media center, we gotta look into this. This looks like the exhaust fan is turned on at hand. We have status, no command. That's why you have your exhaust fan alarm. That's how the exhaust and supply fan alarms work. If there's command and no status, or status and no command, the alarm won't be generated. If you are having alarms that keep popping up, it could just be a time delay set point in the code that I could adjust, where if the fan comes on and after X amount of time, if it doesn't see status, it'll generate an alarm. I could just go in and adjust that time set point, or just drop the amp set point, because we look at the amps. If the amps are above a certain set point, it'll show that we have status. So that's, could be why you're seeing some of those alarms. And once we get this brought up, you'll have just all your air handlers on one, and then everything will be labeled like this, all your air handler one VAVs. You'll have your overview and your drop down to all your individual graphics for them. Did you want me? So I left this in the text. I mean, on VAV A103, we have EF2 and EF3 landed on that controller. I put that in there because I feel like it's a help. For some reason down the road, if you had troubles with exhaust fans 2 or 3, at least you'd have a starting point to go to. Yeah. To know where it was wired back. I just try to label as much stuff it's for service wise.
EF2 and 3, where are them?
That's in the, so the media center mezzanine or whatever, they're right in there. So the one is that closet, right, like on the, you know, the main floor there before you go upstairs. But the lights turn on, EF2 comes on, and then EF3, I think, is one of them closet rooms in the media center.
Now,
There's the dark room and the custodian.
Dark room in the media center then, yeah.
so will they be listed in the exhaust fan somewhere else too, or just there?
Yes, no,
As long as they're listed in the exhaust fans and labeled where they're at too, it would be helpful.
I'm not quite there on the labels yet, but
Yeah,
it'll be here.
okay.
Dark room, 131E. EF2 is gonna be the custodian.
You can just label that dark room as storage room too, it's not a dark room no more.
Oh, dark room.
Dark room. Nice.
Isn't that just a storage room now?
Yeah,
Sure.
yep.
It's not a very big room, I don't have, right? It's
No.
just a little tiny one,
Used to be a dark room.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's almost obsolete.
Yeah.
That was a pain in the butt getting all them wires in there.
And if for any reason you wanna change stuff down the road, these are all, you can just highlight, delete, enter in what you want, so EF2. Just on the schedule is custodian. 131A. You just hit enter and it'll stay in there.
Okay.
Balancer page, I don't know if you'll ever use anything on this. I mean, I guess it's nice to have forced amp or open commands in your flush valve if you ever need to want to open up your valve. Oh, excuse me. But this is just for the balancer. Any questions with balancing? No? RTU 10, this is one of the 6 rooftops. Energy wheel, exhaust fan to maintain building static. These exhaust fans won't kick on though until the economizer goes above a certain set point. Here's your text pages and all your graphics. You know about these, Scott?
No, this is the first time we didn't have any energy wheels.
Oh, really?
Um,
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Today is December 3rd, 2019. Today on the lunch menu is beefy nachos, topping sweet corn
Should we hold off
pico
for a
de
second?
gallo, cilantro lime, refried beans, fruit, and veggie bar.
It's a little short little thing.
That's pretty good. Alright.
Turn it back on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I guess any questions regarding this stuff? No?
I like you go in and set up a schedule though, so that gets videotaped in case I have something to look back on. That's something I keep, I've been showed I don't know how many times.
Well,
I'm fine with it if it's already in there to change it, it's just to set one, create one.
Well, let's try it. Should we set one up? Okay. Let me start over again then. So, to set up a schedule, you're gonna come over to your occupied point. It's gonna be located graphic text overrides. And you're gonna right click, cursor down to add point schedule. From here, actually hold on, let's do it on a different unit. Let's do it on a rooftop 5. So we're gonna right click, we're gonna go down to schedules, add a point schedule. This is where you're gonna compose your work week, your holiday, and your event schedule. Holidays, you have a global holiday for the whole building, right? So we can keep that. But, you know, I guess how many schedules do you plan on having? Is this something, are you gonna wanna stagger these units on?
Yes,
Okay, so you're gonna have
multiple schedules.
multiple schedules. So I guess let's just set one up for rooftop 5 then.
Okay.
So right here, you would click down for your work week. This is where you're gonna create new work week schedule. Name, you can say high school, RTU 5, work schedule. I would advise you're gonna set the schedules up, make sure that you have everything labeled correctly in here, because if you wanna put something else on this schedule, I'll show you when we get to that point. But this host device, this is where you're gonna point it. It's already selected for this trunk or this network, which is the 114 network. I do that when I'm configuring these devices. I go through and all the devices on a certain trunk, I point them to their section in the ACM. And it's nice to do that so you're not
Yeah, because that's where I always.
globally
Yeah.
trafficking stuff over different networks. That's where you'll start dogging the system down. So like when we do alarms and trends and everything will just be pointed to the 114 network, everything that is on the 114. So we have the high school RTU 5 work week schedule we can save. Here we can do create new holiday. We can just do hold on. We could do hold on. I want to highlight this and copy that portion on, so then we know that everything in those areas is going to be for the holiday schedule. Save that. We can go to your event, create new event, and we can say high school RTU 5 event schedule. We can say save that schedule. Now we should be able to come down here and we can add a work week schedule.
I'm fine with all the rest of the stuff. I guess.
Doing your Monday through Friday. When you do times, you don't have to be that specific either. You can just do 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Once you enter that in, it'll populate on the calendar. And then when it when the yellow banner pops up, just make sure that you hit save schedule. If you don't do that, the schedule won't keep. So what you can do too is, let's say you want rooftop 9. We can come into schedules. We can add point schedule. And right here, you can go in and say, you know what? I want rooftop 9 to be on rooftops 5 schedule. So then you cursor down until you find high school, RTU 5 work week schedule. You can come down and find the holiday schedule. in the event schedule, or you can create a new event schedule. We'll just keep it up with this for now. You can save the schedule. So now this unit is gonna come on with rooftop 5.
But now if I go in and add an event schedule and say rooftop 5, is it gonna change this one to that too?
It is gonna change it to that. So I was just going
okay.
fast.
Alright,
It's smart to do your own, and you won't have to do it with all. I mean, it's gonna be all the units that are gonna have people after hours, right?
right,
Wrestling or the gym or,
yeah.
but you can come down here and you can see controlled points and zones. You can click on this, and this right here will tell you what is on that schedule. So exhaust fans too, and I will be adding this. I have it documented. In my exhaust fan schedules, it shows what air handlers or rooftops that are, what area they're in for that. So you can set up those exhaust fan schedules and link them right to your air handler. And if you don't want it, all you have to do is just hit remove point zone from the schedule. And you can start over again. Did you ever get one of those?
You know, I think I did a long time ago, but,
Those are pretty,
yeah.
I mean, usually
But I remember having it out and I still couldn't get it to work. But this one looks different than the one I had.
I usually try to do the simple version because Compass is very, you can just keep digging into it. So I try to just, do the relatively simple version, but these books are pretty intuitive.
Well,
Or they're pretty-
I'm gonna try to set up schedules for all these new ones over here. I'll see how that goes.
Okay. Don't let me forget too before I leave. Let's test one to make sure that everything is synced up too.
Okay.
Because if the schedule's not working, usually it's a time sync issue. For some reason, they are losing time. And it's the main, it's like, what time is it right now? 8:35. Just.
Why did that unit just shut off again?
I'm just messing with this guy.
Oh.
Could just be off a couple minutes. So RTU 1, 2, 3, 4 are all the same as 10. They're all set up identically. Same program. They should be good to go.
So all our outside air dampers and stuff working like they're supposed to now?
They are not.
Okay, I didn't think so.
I heard that we were supposed to get measurements for the outside airflow stations. And then once we got measurements, we were supposed to get the airflow stations out. So, we'll have to talk with someone today.
I know Jake measured them one time, but,
Huh?
I know Jake measured them one time, he was here a while back.
Well, I'll have to call our design engineer and see where they're at.
Because, I mean, it was a long time ago, you know, obviously he's gone now.
Once we have the outside airflow stations though, balancer will come out, he'll set and get and balance the outside airflow stations to provide the correct outside airflow, or how much CFMs are being brought into the space.
So right now, the only thing that's being brought in is what's set manually there?
Yes. And there's a little section here for just, if for some reason in the future, when we do have the airflow stations and one's not working that good, you can come in here and just select for a fixed minimum position or an outside air CFM control. And right now, everything is just set for a fixed minimum position, and you can put in your fixed econ fixed minimum position set point right here. Let's see.
How long will that be before you get them airflow stations?
I'm gonna have to call. I don't have an answer.
Because with some of the air quality issues we've been having and stuff,
Did you have a test?
yeah, we did have two of them. One, we're still waiting on that test result back.
Okay.
The one to come out good on the one that was really troublesome.
You do have CO2 control on these as well, so
So will the outside air dampers work with that CO2 control?
yes.
Okay.
So if the ppm level rises above a certain set point, it's gonna it'll start driving that economizer open. So the economizer is kind of tricky. If you have it set up for outside airflow station, it will open to maintain that outside air CFM. If the ppm level, the CO2 in the space, rises above the set point, the economizer will start to drive more open. But you do have a ventilation econ max position set point. So if that ppm level rises above 1200, what I have them set to, it'll start driving the economizer open to maintain, or it'll start driving the economizer open to a max position set point of 60. So the economizer will go to 60%. If it's cold outside and the mixed air temp drops below, oh, actually, hold on. These are energy wheels. No, we have mixed air. So if that mixed air temp then starts to drop below 45, then that economizer will start to back down. That's just another safety precaution to protect your coils. Right. Any questions? So RTU's 1, yeah, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, they're all the same. RTU 6 and 7. These two units are the exact same, they're just zone controlled units. These also will have outside airflow stations to maintain a minimum outside air CFM, CO2 control, dehumidification mode. If the return air humidity rises above a set point and hot water is available, you can dehumidify. And everything should have dehumidification mode.
And is that either on or off, the mode, or? Because I mean, we won't have dehumidification. We don't run the boilers in the summertime, so.
Oh, you will not. And then if the return air humidity rises above the set point and you do not have hot water available, it won't become enable.
Okay.
It'll just maintain probably your discharge, your low temp set point of 55 degrees. Hopefully you can just pull moisture out of the air that way. Air handler 3. This is the one that smells like something's burning.
I don't know, it's what it smells like, it's got an awful smell to it.
Something rubbing on the inside, or
I don't, you know, we
doesn't
went up
sound
and-
like it.
Nothing, it was, and it ran for weeks, and all of a sudden we just, it's like it appeared, I don't know.
No,
Is
they
that-
changed the coil on that one, didn't they?
I don't think so.
Pretty sure they did.
Did they?
Well, someone told me that they did, one of the PSM workers, but I don't know,
You mean,
like a coil in that
It was
air handler.
leaking?
I have no clue.
that's a brand new air handler.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I didn't really ask him too much, but,
Yeah, it was just weird that it just showed up one day.
cause she told me that they shut it off, cause they had to change a coil. And then, but everyone up there and everything was back on, so I don't know what. It was a while ago.
Do you remember if they, PSM changed the coil in that number 3, that stage?
I know they had to change 3 of them.
Yeah, but I didn't know that was one of them. I was thinking they were all.
Unless it was a
class-
VAV up in there or something that she changed, and
I know they were above the media center changing one.
Mhm.
That's the only one I saw them do. I know that
Maybe-
3 came.
maybe it was a VAV, but still, it could be
Could be.
the reason, I don't know.
Whatever it was, it just all of a sudden appeared. I don't know.
Huh.
RTU 5, we kinda went over 8.
Yeah, we gotta figure out what's going on with that,
With 8?
Yeah, or,
Yeah.
well, why it's not getting heat, the water shut off, or what's going
Oh,
on?
for the VAVs,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll have to touch base with Cody, see if we can point us in a direction. Um, 9 is just like 6 and 7. 6, 7, 9, same unit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10 are the same unit. 3, 4, and 5. Does this look alright? Is this confusing at all?
No.
They're in the same room, so I just figured I'll look into those supply fan alarms. See the time on that. I will still be adding a couple set points that I added in the global, and so if you want, you can select a point and whatever set points you adjust for the zone, it'll automatically adjust them for the other unit. So then you're not having to sit and go and adjust
Right, okay, I see what you mean.
at least all your zone controlled set points. Here, like your heating and cooling offsets, you know how all this stuff works, right? I still have to get unit heater graphics. They have code, so they're operating, they just need graphical items. And same with the exhaust fans, and what exhaust fan, it was